The night Earth died lasted only 6 hours. 6 hours. That was all it took for centuries of civilization to disappear beneath fire, ash, and shattered oceans. For generations afterward, every species in the galaxy would remember where they were when the images arrived. Cities burning from orbit, continents glowing red through clouds of smoke. The blue world that had once become famous for its creativity, stubbornness, and impossible resilience transformed into a scarred wasteland visible from millions of kilometers away. The attackers believed they had won. Most empires would have. Humanity did not. It began with a decision made in fear. The Zareth Dominion had watched humanity rise for nearly 40 years. At first, humans were considered insignificant. Their fleets were small. Their territory was limited. Their technology lagged behind older galactic powers. But humans possessed something that made ancient civilizations uncomfortable. They adapted too quickly. Every defeat became a lesson. Every disaster became an opportunity. Every enemy eventually discovered that fighting humanity once was difficult, but fighting them twice was nearly impossible. The Dominion watched human influence spread across trade routes. Human engineers repaired stations that other species considered beyond saving. Human doctors cured diseases thought incurable. Human companies expanded into sectors controlled by powerful corporations that had dominated markets for centuries. Most dangerous of all, humanity became popular. The galaxy began listening to them, and power built on influence frightened the Dominion more than power built on weapons. So they chose a solution that had worked countless times before. Remove the source, destroy Earth, break humanity's spirit, force the survivors into submission. The attack fleet entered the Sol system without warning. Thousands of warships emerged from hyperspace. Defense satellites were destroyed within minutes. Orbital stations vanished in expanding clouds of plasma. Lunar shipyards became molten craters. The Dominion's admirals expected resistance, but not much. Instead, they encountered something strange. Human military forces fought with unusual aggression. Ships launched suicidal counterattacks. Pilots refused evacuation orders. Space stations continued firing even after sustaining catastrophic damage. One Dominion commander later recalled that every human seemed to be buying time. At the moment, nobody understood why. Then the bombardment began. Orbital weapons rained destruction across Earth. Military bases disappeared first. Communication centers followed. Industrial regions erupted into firestorms visible from space. Major cities became targets. New York, Shanghai, London, Mumbai, Tokyo, São Paulo, Cairo, Moscow, Sydney, one after another. The bombardment continued hour after hour. Entire coastlines changed shape. Massive tsunamis crossed oceans. Electrical grids collapsed worldwide. Satellites fell from orbit like burning rain. Billions watched the end of their world unfold in real time. The Dominion broadcast surrender demands continuously. No response came, not from governments, not from military leaders, not from Earth. By dawn, the attackers believed humanity had ceased to exist as a functioning civilization. They departed victorious. Across the galaxy, analysts estimated humanity would require at least a century to recover. Some predicted extinction. Others predicted permanent fragmentation. Nobody predicted what happened next, because while the Dominion had spent decades studying human weapons, economies, and military doctrine, they had failed to understand a much older human instinct: preparation. Humanity had expected disaster long before joining the galactic community. For centuries, humans had imagined asteroid impacts, nuclear wars, pandemics, climate collapse, solar storms, and alien invasions. Most species never prepared for apocalypse because they assumed civilization was permanent. Humans assumed the opposite. Beneath mountains, oceans, deserts, and polar ice caps, enormous survival networks existed. Many were secret, even from Earth's own population. Deep underground vaults contained manufacturing equipment.
Seed banks stored millions of plant species. Data archives preserved humanity's entire scientific knowledge. Fusion reactors waited in hardened bunkers. Autonomous factories remained hidden beneath kilometers of rock.
The Dominion had destroyed Earth's surface, but they had missed the backup. 3 hours after the attack fleet left the system, the first emergency network activated. Then another. And another. Thousands of hidden facilities awakened simultaneously. Artificial intelligences verified command protocols. Automated drones emerged from underground hangars. Communication systems rebuilt themselves using encrypted relay networks. Survivors began finding messages appearing on damaged devices. "We are still here." Those 4 words spread across the planet faster than any government announcement in history. We are still here. In underground shelters, frightened families heard them. In ruined cities, rescue workers heard them. On isolated islands, aboard damaged ships, inside collapsed subway tunnels and shattered hospitals, people heard them. Humanity had not survived. Humanity had awakened. The first month was chaos. Food shortages, medical emergencies, environmental disasters. Entire regions remained unreachable. Millions were trapped beneath rubble. Millions more wandered through destroyed landscapes, searching for loved ones. Yet something extraordinary happened. Nobody waited for permission. Teachers became engineers. Engineers became construction workers. Construction workers became emergency medics. Scientists drove supply trucks. Farmers coordinated logistics networks. Retirees organized refugee centers. Teenagers operated communication hubs. Humanity stopped acting like separate nations. There was no time. The old arguments suddenly felt irrelevant. Borders meant nothing when entire continents required rebuilding. Languages became secondary when survival demanded cooperation. Every available skill became valuable. Every survivor became necessary. The second month brought factories. Not traditional factories, automated factories. The hidden manufacturing systems began producing machinery around the clock. Construction drones, agricultural equipment, portable reactors, medical devices, communication arrays. The machines built more machines. Then those machines built even more. Production increased exponentially. By the third month, temporary cities appeared across devastated regions. By the fourth month, food production exceeded emergency requirements. By the fifth month, transportation networks were operating again. By the sixth month, schools reopened. The galaxy watched in disbelief. Recovery was supposed to take generations. Humanity was accomplishing it in weeks. Economic experts searched for explanations. Military analysts studied satellite imagery. Historians compared the reconstruction to every known recovery effort in galactic history. Nothing matched. No civilization had ever rebuilt at such speed. The reason was simple. Humans were no longer rebuilding the old world. They were building a better one. Why reconstruct vulnerable power grids when fusion reactors existed? Why restore inefficient transportation systems when superior designs were available? Why recreate outdated cities when entirely new urban models could be constructed? Earth became the largest engineering project in human history. Ruins were cleared by autonomous machines. New structures rose directly from prepared foundations. Entire districts were designed by teams combining human creativity with artificial intelligence optimization. Every lesson from the destruction became part of the reconstruction. Every weakness became a target for improvement. Then came month 8. The moment the Dominion realized they had made a catastrophic mistake. Long-range telescopes detected activity around Earth. At first, observers assumed reconstruction projects were expanding. Then they identified shipyards. Massive shipyards. Hundreds of them. The same underground factories rebuilding civilization were also producing spacecraft. Not military fleets. At least not officially. Transport vessels, cargo ships, construction platforms,
mining craft. Yet every design shared common characteristics: heavy armor, redundant systems, extraordinary durability. Humanity was rebuilding everything according to one principle: never again. Never again would a single attack threaten civilization. Never again would survival depend upon one world. Never again would humanity place all its hopes in a single location. The reconstruction transformed into expansion. Orbital habitats appeared throughout the solar system. Martian settlements grew rapidly. Lunar colonies multiplied. Asteroid facilities expanded production. The human population dispersed across hundreds of locations. Earth was no longer humanity's center. It was humanity's birthplace. A crucial difference. Then came the first anniversary, exactly 1 year after the bombardment. The galaxy expected memorials, funerals, moments of silence. There were plenty of those, but humanity prepared something else: a broadcast. Every major communication network received the signal simultaneously. Billions watched, trillions listened. The image showed Earth from orbit. The planet was scarred. The wounds remained visible. Nobody tried hiding them. Then the camera pulled back, and farther still. Suddenly viewers saw thousands of stations surrounding Earth. Shipyards, colonies, solar habitats, construction platforms, new worlds under development. The solar system glowed with activity. A voice spoke, calm, steady, human. 1 year ago, our enemies believed they ended humanity. The camera continued pulling away. More settlements appeared: Mars, the Moon, asteroid colonies, orbital cities. Their calculations were correct. They destroyed our world. A pause followed. Then the voice continued. They made one mistake. The screen filled with images of reconstruction. Workers, families, engineers, children planting trees in restored soil, doctors treating patients, builders raising new cities. They believed Earth was humanity. Another pause. They never understood that humanity is not a place. The camera revealed hundreds of newly completed spacecraft launching simultaneously. Human ships streamed across the darkness like rivers of light. We are an idea. Millions watched in silence. We are a species that survives. Thousands of vessels accelerated toward the stars. We are a species that adapts. The fleets grew larger. We are a species that rebuilds. Across the galaxy, even humanity's allies felt chills, because everyone could see the truth. The attackers had not weakened humanity. They had transformed it. The voice delivered its final words. They bombed Earth in one night. The image shifted to a thriving blue planet, surrounded by unprecedented industry and expansion. We rebuilt in 1 year. Then came the sentence that entered galactic history. And next time, there won't be just one Earth. The transmission ended. Silence spread across the stars. The Dominion's leaders watched the broadcast from fortified command centers. Many realized their empire was already doomed. Not because humanity sought revenge. Not because human fleets were growing. Not because their economy was recovering. They were doomed because they had given humanity a lesson humanity would never forget. A species that survives disaster becomes stronger. A species that rebuilds becomes wiser. But a species that turns its greatest tragedy into its greatest transformation becomes unstoppable. Earth had fallen. Humanity had not. And 1 year later, the galaxy understood a truth that would echo through history for centuries to come. The fastest way to create a stronger humanity was to try destroying it.